Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kamisha and welcome to another video. We're going to be talking about in this video how to become a refined woman. Now, right before we get into it, I do want to say what my definition of a refined woman is. Now, there's so many videos going around circulating, trending, talking about how to be that girl, how to be that it girl. And while I love that content, today on this video, I'm getting a little bit more from the surface level, not just talking about your physical appearance, more so talking about how to work on your inside so that it can exude on the outside. Now, I'm a firm believer of what's in you is certainly going to come out of you. Whatever it is that you are filled with on the inside of your heart, mind, and soul, that is going to translate. So while we get into it, let me just talk about what it means to be refined. When I personally think of a refined woman, there's some women that I could name that you guys would know, but when I think of a refined woman, I'm thinking of a woman that is filled with confidence. She's filled with poise, grace, kindness, and she just has a certain it factor to herself. Now, you've all heard the saying that diamonds are a girl's best friend. If you were to put a diamond in a furnace, it would come out better than it did when it went in. And so thinking about a refined woman, it is a woman who knows her worth, a woman who knows her value, a woman who has gone through the inner workings of some type of process with herself, where she is authentically growing, she's authentically developing, and at this point she is secure with who she is. Another attribute or another synonym for refinement is grace, elegance, poise, and simplicity. So when I also think of a refined woman, I think of a woman who is developed, cultured, and graceful. Now that we've gotten that out the way, let's get into some tips that can help make you a refined woman. A refined woman is confident in herself. A refined woman loves herself, she values herself, and knows her worth. A refined woman is one that thinks well of herself. She doesn't think that she's better than anyone else, but she does think well of herself. She treats herself with kindness, respect, and dignity. Now, why is this really important? Because I truly believe how you treat yourself and how you think about yourself, it impacts so much other aspects of your life. It's going to impact how you treat another person, how you think about another person. For myself, I love to treat my friends, my family, anyone that I come in contact with, I treat them the way that I treat myself. And I value myself. I love myself. I think well of myself. So a refined woman is going to be just that. You know, a refined woman isn't one who you would find often talking down about herself or making negative comments about herself, beating herself up too badly, because any person that really does that, it's going to be easy for them to do that same thing to other people. We've all heard the term misery loves company, and that is actually a true phrase, because if you're not really happy or satisfied with yourself, it's going to be very hard for you to be happy or satisfied with someone else. Another quality of a refined woman is that she is secure. Secure means that you are content with who you are. You're not threatened by another woman. You're not jealous of another woman. You're not envious of another person. You're not really judgmental about someone else, because you are safe and secure with you. It's great to know that of all the amazing women in this world that were created, that we can all make room to celebrate and just love one another. It doesn't take anything away from a refined woman to celebrate another woman who's successful. It doesn't threaten another person. A refined woman is not threatened by someone else that's excelling in her field, because she sees another person's success as inspiration to her own. She sees her friend's success as a part of her, because, hey, I'm connected to this person, so when they succeed, I also succeed because that is my friend. A refined woman takes pride in being around other achieving people, other refined women. She's not going to be a gossip. A refined woman does not spend a lot of time or any time gossiping negatively about other women. Now, it's one thing to talk about another woman. Like, for example, if there's someone on social media that you really love and follow, if there's a friend of yours that you went to her house and she had an amazing dinner party and you loved what she cooked and you talk about that to another friend, of course, talking positively about another woman is not gossiping. Gossiping is where you're sitting around speaking negatively about someone who, one, you would not say those same things to that person if they were in your presence, but it's easy for you to say those things outside of that person's presence. It's like inauthenticity. That's not exactly what a refined woman would spend her time doing. Finds the good in her life and in the life of others. I'm not saying that your life is perfect, or it's not saying that you don't go through hard times. It's not saying that you don't have challenging days. No, being a refined woman says that no matter what can be going on in your life, chaos can be going on all around you. But there's something about a refined woman that takes those challenges and takes those trials in stride. She takes it as a time of evaluation. She takes it as a time of growth. She takes those hard times as a season or a day to reflect on herself and do better the next day. I know for myself, I have been through some very challenging times, even within the past couple of years, but they were for my benefit when I sat back and evaluated why I was going through a situation, why I was dealing with a circumstance. And now that I look back, it's made me stronger, wiser, and better as a woman. I am not bitter, but I am definitely better. I am not feeling like at a disadvantage, but I feel like I am at the advantage because I've overcome whatever came to, destroy me. Even when you are going through tough times, you're focusing on your own development. A refined woman does not try to blame everybody else for something that is going on in her life. A refined woman does not try to point the fingers all the time at why this is happening to her or why she doesn't have this or why she doesn't have that. No, she's more focused on how can I change this? How can I change that situation? Also, it leads me to my next point. A refined woman is not a controlling woman. And ladies, this is something that by nature, women can be nurturers. Sometimes too much of that can turn into being controlling. It can turn into being like a micromanaging woman, whether she's a mother, whether she's a wife, whether she's a leader in corporate world, whether she's a business owner, whether she's a spiritual leader. She does not try to exhibit control because a refined woman understands that her power is over herself. Your greatest power is over how you react, how you respond, and how you handle yourself. It's not our job to try to control anyone else and make them do what we want to do, make them be how we want them to be. Our job is to evaluate all situations and adjust ourselves accordingly. As a refined woman, we understand that our power is in our actions. Our power is not in how we can control or make anyone else do anything. Refined woman, we rest very easy. We kind of present ourselves as carefree, not careless, because there's a difference between being a careless woman and a carefree woman. A carefree woman does not spend a lot of time worrying about what someone else thinks of her, what someone else is doing, what someone else feels about them, or what someone has said or done to them. A refined woman does not waste time worrying. A refined woman is proactive with what she does, but the focus again is always going to be on her because that is where the key lies. Moving on to my next point. A refined woman knows how to choose her words wisely. You do not always have to say everything you know or say everything that's on your mind at the time. Sometimes you don't even need to respond. In a world where everyone has something to say and everyone has a means of voicing their opinions, which I do think is great to voice your opinions when it's necessary, I do think there are times when you do need to know how to stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself. So a refined woman understands that silence is also golden, and silence also sends a message. You really won't find a refined woman being very argumentative or combative with a person. Not to say that you won't have disagreements, because you will, but the way that that is delivered, you won't be fighting tick for tat, word for word, combative with someone. Because one thing that I have learned over the time of my life is I don't have to argue. I don't have to debate. I don't have to stress myself out to get a point across. I can verbalize my point. I can make my points. And if that person is willing to have a healthy, quality conversation with me, then I'm all for those type of things. Like, there are times that I can talk to someone about something that we don't see the same views on, and it is a good conversation because we're both open to listening and to hearing the other person's view. A refined woman understands that that is where I can gracefully bow out of this conversation. I can gracefully remove myself from this conversation, or from this situation, or from this person, because it is a choice how we choose to be handled. Now, we can't control everything that someone does or says to us, but we can control our proximity to those situations. So a refined woman always understands that this is my choice, what I want to deal with and what I don't. Going into my next point, like I said, a lot of these things that we're talking about with being refined deals with the inside. And the more that you develop and deal with the inside of who you are, it's going to translate to the outside of who you are. Another thing about a refined woman is that she keeps herself up. She keeps herself up physically, mentally, and spiritually. As a refined woman, we understand it is our responsibility to invest in ourselves and to have our cups filled. So what does this mean to you might mean something different for me. It's not the same for every woman, but it does mean that you're aware that you need to be responsible for your garden. You need to be responsible for making sure your cup is full. I know for myself, physical activity and working out is like a non-negotiable for me, because working out helps me not just physically feel good, but it helps me to look good. And when I look good, I feel good. Not only when I look good, I feel good, but I have the right energy level to do everything that I desire to do. When I find myself eating a lot of negative foods that impact my body in a negative way, I don't have a lot of energy. I just don't feel my best. I don't feel light on my feet. I don't feel like I can do a number of things that I should be able to do. Also, being refined, it can mean eating mindfully, not saying that you have to go on some type of diet, but just being mindful on the impact that what you put in your body has on you. So maybe for you, eating a lot of sweets may not do anything to you negatively, but for me, eating a ton of sweets is just not going to help me out at all. A refined woman also is big on investing in her growth. She's big on investing in her health and wellness. So for me, it might be the gym. For you, it might be going for a morning walk. For me, it might be weightlifting. For you, it might be bike riding. For me, my spiritual growth might mean attending my church and getting being fed by my leaders, reading my Bible, and prayer. For you, it might be meditation, mindfulness, and different things. Reading a book that you love. It could be whatever it is that helps you maintain your spiritual growth, your physical maintenance, and things that make you you. I do believe that a refined woman always appears to be clean. You want to always appear to be clean. You want to always smell clean, ladies. You want to always have your body washed, okay? Whatever it is that you do for your maintenance, do that. A refined woman always does that. As a woman, no one else should have to tell you that it's time to maintain your body, okay? That should be something that you prioritize. That should be something that you put at a high priority. Even when it comes to the cleanliness of your hair. Ladies, your hair should always be clean. It does not matter what hairstyle you wear. It doesn't matter how you choose to wear your hair. But your hair should always be fresh and clean. I don't care if you wear weave, extensions, braids, a wig. natural hair, dreadlocks, a short haircut, a perm, a relaxer. The list goes on and on. Your hair needs to be clean, ladies. That's a non-negotiable for me. All these things, being a refined woman, will eventually, like I said, translate on the outside. And you will have what's called je ne sais quoi. That is a French term that just means that you have an appealing quality that someone can't really describe or express. It just means that you have it. I don't know what it is about her, but she just has it. You know, that je ne sais quoi is a mixture of your confidence, your security, your growth and development. It radiates from within. I'm not saying as a refined woman that you're going to automatically be popular, that you're going to automatically be loved by everyone in the world. That's not what I'm saying. However, what I will tell you that as a refined woman, you will attract high quality connections. You will attract high quality friendships. You'll attract high quality individuals to your life because you're doing a lot of inner work, and people can't help but to radiate to those that they're like. You know, people cannot help but to gravitate to those that they're inspired to be around, that they're motivated to be around. Now, on the other side, you might have some people who just don't want to be around you because they might feel like you're just too much for them, or that your standards just might be too high for them. And guess what? That's okay. You don't want to be around people who feel negatively about good things that you're doing. You don't want to feel negatively about people who look at you in a negative light when you're working on being your authentic self. So I will say, being a refined woman will give you high value, high quality connections, high value, high quality relationships. And they might only be 10 high value, high quality connections, but they will be well worth it in your life. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with, as a refined woman, you will be happy and at peace with yourself. You will be happy and at peace with yourself, and people will be able to see that. You can tell when you're around someone and they radiate peace and you feel peaceful around them. It's just like you feel a certain sense of calm around them. You don't feel very stressed. You don't feel very tense. You don't feel very negative around certain people. They just add a sense of peace, calm, and confidence. So as a refined woman, if you take the time to work on these things with yourself, you will possess those same qualities. Thank you guys so much for watching. Those are the tips I have today on becoming a refined woman. If you'd like more information about being refined, I invite you to check out my book called Refined Jewels, Allowing Pressure to Shape You into Greater from the Inside Out. You can find this book in the link below. I'll list it for purchase if you'd like to buy it, and comment below if you feel like you are on a journey to becoming a refined woman. I'd love to hear from you. What are you doing? What changes are you making? What things do you feel like resonate with you in this video? What things have you felt confident in? If there's some things that I mentioned that stood out to you, or some things that you feel like you're working on doing, let me know. I want to hear from you. But thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.